think we're good to go, man.
Ja, hallo everyone. Hallo alle. Wie geht's Ihnen? Hopefully you're having a good evening and you're about to spice it up a little bit more with some Division 1 action in BFNL. Yeah, Focus, the mic was better because I didn't have to do a Discord call. It's the same exact headset.
Very good.
It
Very
is
good.
what it is. Um,
All right.
High stake?
Yeah, so everyone is here.
Viel
We
Glück.
we had some major issues, guys, with the streaming, but now we are here. So Deft, the cam is actually moving. I failed, but now it's good. We can hear everyone. Everyone is here. So yeah, good to go with Division 1, as you said. BFNL. Yeah, on the Wednesday this time. Is it Wednesday? Yeah, it is, I think.
It
So
is, yes. So this is about
yeah.
as early as possible, which is a bit weird because this is, unlike last week, these maps are trained and they gave themselves just actually, I think, 3 days to prepare themselves. So maybe some of the players didn't actually find the time to get ready for these maps, and they are pretty challenging.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting map pack to say the least. So
All
hopefully
right.
the level of action is still going to be good and it's going to be a pretty fair and balanced match. I really hope it will be. For some people, they need to perform today or they are getting demoted.
Oui.
Div 2, which, wouldn't usually be an issue, but considering the names in this division, for some of them it would just be unthinkable.
Mm. Yeah, that's true. And I think the interesting aspect will also be that Div 2, I think, is playing on Sunday.
Yes, and
And
Div 2 is playing on Sunday.
yeah, they can of course see the things going on here and be like, hey, this player performed very badly. Maybe I can take his spot or something like that. So it will be interesting to see. Later, of course, guys, this week on Sunday, Division 2, so do not miss it. But for now, as Deft said, trained maps, and it's only Wednesday. Map pack was released, I think, on Sunday, right after
Yeah, so
we
Sunday,
stopped streaming.
basically at midnight, yeah.
Yeah,
So it was already that late at that time.
alright.
So interesting, I suppose. Yeah, Division 2 players will be watching this because, well, one or two of these players, there's a pretty good chance they're going to demote after this week if they repeat last week's performance. So
Yes.
they might be eyeing their future competition and trying to see if they can fit into Div 1, if they promote to try and keep that spot.
Hmm.
This map, though, I think this map will actually come last in the real match, and that's going to be interesting because let's just say that this map is a bit prone to various bugs, and leave it at that.
Alright. The
Going
good
to be
old
really
lunchtimes.
interesting. It is going to be really interesting. Again, a good mixture of styles with these maps, and some really interesting ones in this week's pack, hopefully.
Alright.
Going to be very interesting to see if players actually bring different strategies to these maps, or if they just figured out that there's a one definitive way to drive them.
Hmm.
It is going to be pretty interesting. Some very unorthodox maps, just like last week, and
That's nice.
making it really interesting.
That's very
Yeah.
good. That's good. And who are we looking out for? Anyone in particular that caught our eye
I
last
mean,
weekend?
so last week, Racerlight actually had an uncharacteristically poor performance,
Hmm.
lost 3 positions on the final map, and now he is actually the last ranked player in Division 1. Only 1 point away from two, or I think 3 Division 2 players. So
Phew.
he really needs to get a good performance in today, the kind of performance we expect from him, or he might demote, which is honestly pretty unthinkable if you ask me.
Yeah, very true. I totally agree. So Razorlight will be watching him today. Um,
And I think this time it's definitely less balanced on the team front because what happened, unfortunately, due to the way last week played out, teams this week are pretty unbalanced.
yeah.
And that's going to play in favor of some players, going to give them that extra 2 points. If everything goes to plan, that might just save their skin or demote them.
Mm-hmm.
So, going to be really interesting to see what happens. And I think another player that I want to see more from personally is Devil. Just because last week he had some unfortunate incidents, to
Yeah.
put it that way. that ended up costing him, finishing something like 101 points behind Dopa,
Yeah.
despite actually being pretty even on pace with him throughout all four maps. So
Hmm.
I would like to see some more consistency from him. I understand that it's kind of impossible to be consistent on these maps. It's really difficult to put it mildly, but
Yeah.
just a little bit more because on pace, he was clearly, first or second last time.
Yeah.
But he ended up only securing something like third place behind shared second, so fourth in total.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Which isn't bad, but for someone of his pace, for his raw talent, I think he might have wanted to aim for a little bit more, especially because Racerlight had an uncharacteristically off week and stuff like that.
Yeah. All right. So
Udala
Devil,
is also
Razorlight.
probably going to have to play for his life here today.
Hmm.
Felt a bit outmatched last week, but he was on the winning team, which secured 2 additional points for him. That is maybe going to save him, but I really think he should be aiming for a higher finish this time.
Yeah. All right. So a lot of things to watch here, and a lot of players actually trying to get their streams up. Still
So,
trying.
so the interesting thing, I guess, is everything that we mentioned obviously still applies about the strategizing that this unique format sort of brings.
Mm-hmm.
But there's also a very interesting sort of consideration. With these maps being the way they are, do you want to, hunt and try to pursue the first, second place, think more about your overall finish, or do you want to maybe, I don't know, start playing a bit more consistently, trying to secure those, 4 or 5 point finishes and just trying to prey on your enemy's downfall, honestly, because that worked pretty well last week.
Yeah, I
We
just wanted
had
to say that was good. Last week was consistency, and that took it
consistency was
down.
king, right?
Yeah.
So Stake might not have been the fastest player on pure pace, but he finished shared second and honestly should have been straight up second because
Yeah.
he was just picking up all the points other players were missing, right?
Very
On
true.
top of having a pretty good baseline level, he didn't really have to set, world record times to collect a lot of points compared to his opposition. So
Yeah.
I wonder if other players, kind of maybe they didn't watch the stream, but just looking at the result, if more players will realize that maybe, he was right all along and maybe they should take a page out of his playbook.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very true. So we'll see. Maybe players will switch it up a bit this week. That will be indeed very
Especially
interesting.
because some of these maps are just, and it's very difficult to put this in a neutral way, but on some of these maps, being consistent is just impossible.
Mm-hmm.
Being fast and consistent is impossible. So,
Yeah.
maybe you should just drop a little bit of pace and try to
Yeah.
secure some more consistent points finishes. Because trying, play like you're hunting on a map like this is just not going to end well. I'm
Yeah.
really
Exactly.
interested in actually seeing what happens.
Yeah.
I guess the
Actually,
final.
Jucando mentions in chat Dopa being most consistent and fastest. I don't know if Dopa was really the most consistent. I mean, he was extremely fast,
Yeah,
but he
Dopa
made
was the most
some
consistent,
some
but
huge mistakes as well. So
I
I don't
mean,
know.
everyone did, but look, he outclassed everyone by 100 points in a 350-point match, so
Yeah,
hard to
that's
argue that
true.
he wasn't insanely dominant last week. But
Very true.
in fairness, though, he was matched on pace on, most maps, at least by Devil, if not the other players. But the problem is they all just kept trading away points and just losing them for inexplicable reasons.
Yeah.
I guess the final player to watch for me today will be the final pair of players we can
Mm-hmm.
take a bit of a look at are Mew and Lucky Shot because I don't know, Mew had a pretty bad week, securing I think eighth place, seventh if you count shared second, so
Yeah.
only better than Budala and who was it, Bellman, who
Yeah.
ended up demoting anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
So that's not really, a performance that you might have expected from him. And even on the maps where he had the pace, his consistency was just nowhere to be seen. So needs to play better.
Yeah, needs to
He
step it up.
kind of survived on account of his really good qualifying, but that's not going to last him forever. Now that we're in week two, week three, those qualifying points are going to start to peter out a bit.
Very true. Yeah.
Lucky Shot, I don't know. He made a pretty strong comeback on the final map in week one. But that was his own map, and if you actually take that map away, he was one of the worst players despite pretty good start. He started
Yeah.
dropping points severely on map 2 and 3, so it's going to be interesting to see how he does now that he no longer has home map advantage on this map pack.
All right, so no lucky map this week. Let's see how it plays out for him. Indeed, good start last week, but struggled a bit.
You
So
know,
it will be interesting to see him this week again.
actually, I kind of like the thing about BFNL that I do like about this format is that really every player has some kind of story in a particular week, whether it's just trying to prove themselves in a division that might be higher than their average skill or trying to recover from a disastrous performance last week. It sort of feels like every single player on the server today, you have some reason to cheer for him and you have something to look at when you're watching them play.
Yeah.
And what ends up happening a lot in these competitions, especially in the early rounds of competition, is that you have very lopsided matches, or maybe you have teams which are pretty widely unbalanced. I think this format is really, really interesting. It's very refreshing to watch, at least for now.
Yeah.
And really, regardless of who you're cheering for, you can find something to hope for, look at, exactly what they've got to do to stay.
Yeah, very true. So
So
we
now
jump
we've got
on the first map here, I think, right?
Yeah, exactly. So that's Belbuil by, I think that's Ekstrom who mapped it. Not sure, but I think this is his map. We should have one in this week's map pack.
All right.
So this map is just, I don't know, it's pretty impossible to explain. It's pretty much like nothing you try. It's not a flat map. It's not anything standard. It's some pretty weird flow, at least to most players at first. Sure, you can learn how to play it, but there are going to be pain points for players, and I do expect a lot of crashes to happen. Because,
Alright.
firstly, this is a free lapper, as far as I understand. I think it is a free lapper. On this first corner, which is just really weird, if you misjudge it, you're gonna absolutely find yourself into a wall and there's nothing to do.
Yeah.
And you have the corner they're playing right now, where you have this sort of weird, I don't know, almost bounce into the checkpoint, where there's also really just one line you can take. You can't really misjudge that.
Alright.
So no matter how you look at it, this map is really, it's really going to exemplify what we talked about before, which is how safe or how risky are you willing to take it? Are you going to, maybe relax a bit, try to collect the secure 3-4 point finishes? Or are you going to risk it a bit more? Can you deal with this map at all? Because I think for some players, it might just be a complete meltdown when they have a few bad rounds in a row, and there's definitely plenty of chances for you to make really, really big mistakes here.
Yeah.
First corner in particular, and then the sort of banked turn into a small bounce into a checkpoint. That's what I'm looking at. The rest of the map kind of plays itself, at least for Div 1 players. So, see.
Alright. So we know what to look at, guys. You know what is going on. First map kicking off here. The BFNL second week, and Division 1 it is. We are spectating that here, so please enjoy. The players are getting ready on this tricky map. So, yeah, ready for it. Let's see.
Why am I out of spectator? What the? Did the game take me out of spec? I'm not driving. Hold on.
Oh no.
God damn. I almost played Div 1 for him over there.
Okay, so here we go without Deft.
So they're often, we can take a look at the teams. This is what I was going to talk about, is that the teams for this week, because of the fixed team selection strategy, they're not rebalanced. They're picked according to the position in the division. You have a pretty unbalanced situation where I think blue team is, I suppose, stronger, I think, in the eyes of most. So that's going to be, red team's going to have to try and sort of put it together. Otherwise, they're staring at a 2-point deficit almost automatically. Going into lap 2, though, we've only lost one player, and it's Racerlight, which is really unfortunate for him. And Spider as well. But you can also see what's happening. Even Dopamine looks shaky because it's very difficult to take a corner like that. There's no good way to do it. You just have to pick the lesser of two evils. Are you going to take airtime, or are you going to risk hitting the wall? It's just pretty ugly to do. But Dopamine and Devil seem to be navigating it almost better than anyone else. Lucky Shot in Hot Pursuit, that's really interesting to see. But look at that, he has to adjust the line because he took the bank turn a bit too far in, and now he's just losing several tenths of a second. So again, the lesser of two evils, and more often than not, you just can't pick any sort of good solution to it. Round one ends. We see
Right.
some sort of 128 highs, 129 lows from the leading players, and it's a solidly blue round despite Racerlight's mistake.
All right. So Dopamine takes it there indeed. What are the times that we are actually looking out for? Do we know
I
that
have
already?
no, we don't know. Div 1 is the one playing this week, and I guess that sets a benchmark for literally every other player in the competition.
All right.
It's going to be interesting.
Let's keep an eye on
We're,
that.
we're going to see how the times actually progress through this map, because obviously some players just didn't complete a decent time in round one, so we'll see.
All right.
Casper asks, how is it possible the Devil, Racer, and Dopa are on one team? Let me answer that. So, team selection is fixed. Within one division, I think it is 2, 3, 6, and 7 versus 1, 4, 5, and 8. And what happened is that Racerlight finds himself in position 8 because of an uncharacteristically poor week and not a lot of qualifying points to save him. So, unfortunately, that's just how it happened with a funky week 1 and qualifying results combining. Before, and now we have a round in progress that's looking solidly blue again. This time it's Budala making, I think, the only serious mistake, but also Dopamine out in 7th place after a small mistake. Let's see if he can come back. 6 players then competing to see who takes the round. It can still go, I think, any way. Mew leading, he kind of wants to put some better performance on the board. Glad to see he's starting off strong. And Stake also touches the wall there, not exactly the best situation for him to be in. Lucky Shot going really aggressively, almost gets caught out by the rum, but does manage to survive. Devil leading from Mew into the final corners of lap 3. Let's just hope there are going to be no serious mistakes at the end.
Yeah.
Looking like a blue round so
Looks
far.
blue. Very blue.
And it
indeed.
is, and the times, okay, so we're looking at sort of 28 high, 29 low, and just 29s all over.
Yeah. Okay, so a little bit slower than last round. Dopa with a mistake there. Blue team still takes it. And Devo in the lead here with 15 points. Budala in the meantime with 4 points for himself. The rest of the field in between, and we can already see, some of the field being split up. And someone
so
nuked there.
Spider and Racerlight with 6 points is not exactly the start either of them was hoping for. To be fair, Spider managed to save himself last week and finished shared second. However, Racerlight, who was in the better position, lost 3 positions. Spider wasn't looking great last week either, at least not to his maximum level, so he also probably wants to perform a bit better just for himself. Going then to the end of lap 1, I think we've already lost several players. Budala, unfortunately, seems to be the first to seriously put himself out of this round. It's looking... Racerlight, oh, look at this.
Ooh, that was very, very shaky. Mew now as well with Stiko on the end here. And the field being really split up here.
So interestingly enough, different than we saw last week. We saw Racerlight and Stake last week on untrained maps actually being up top with pace, but now it doesn't seem like they're actually being either very fast or very consistent. Maybe the lack of preparation time because of this pretty early match, I think it might have hurt them a bit.
Yeah, could be very true here as Spider is now in between the blue sandwich. Ooh, Devil with a slide, a little bug, and he slides out.
I don't think that's gonna be enough to actually overhaul the round in any meaningful way. That's 128s again. Spider with a 128 as well. Very good
well
time.
Done. Nice.
But it doesn't save the round. It's still solidly blue. And the problem that's going to happen is, since it is pretty lopsided for blue team, maps are probably going to be over very quickly. So it's all the more important to start off strong. You just don't have enough rounds to really make big comebacks on maps.
Yeah.
Because what we saw happen last week, where the teams were a bit more balanced in Division 1, you had the time to collect a lot of points, even with a shaky start, because the maps would go on for, 10 rounds, 12 rounds, maybe sometimes even the maximum amount of rounds. But I don't think we're going to see a lot of that today. It means all players have to be maximizing the points they can score in the first 5 to 7 rounds, because that's probably all they're going to get.
Yeah, very
Mew with a
true.
mistake, however, doesn't look too hurt by it because he has
Ooh,
17 points right now. Lucky shot out in the first corner.
yeah,
That's not going to be very good for him. That being said, he is shared first with 18 points, so not all
yeah.
that bad for him. Nobody breaking away too severely. It's only Budala and Stake that are kind of falling behind along with Racerlight. Racerlight only fourth this time. Usually not bad, but considering he dropped a lot of points in the previous rounds, I think he's going to have to need to get some even better performances if he wants to seriously mount the comeback. He does get a position from Devil, who makes an uncharacteristic release in the first turn. Do you want to take this back corner wide? You have to exit it wide, so there's sort of no other way for you to do it.
All right.
They go on the inside because you're just going to have to end up releasing a bit later. Finishing then this round, the fourth, it's looking solidly blue again. Just doesn't seem like red team can catch a break with the inconsistency and pace. Spider again with a very strong second place finish with a
Yeah,
128, but his team nowhere to be seen. Luckily, he doesn't really need them because he's managed to bring himself into third place. 20 points, looking good.
yeah. That's good. Good start from him and Dopamine
Dopamine,
as well.
yeah, so Dopamine again, out of the top 4 times, 3 times are his most consistent and fastest so far. Spider, his most serious competition actually, more competitive than Devil despite being 3 points down due to some early mistakes.
What?
So
All right.
ace-wise, Spider looking good. Somebody noob trapped.
Ooh, who was it? Was it Devil? Yeah, it was
Devil
Devil.
seems to be
Ooh.
gone this time. It's not
All right.
gonna bode very well for him because the rest of the field is only a couple of points behind him. So Mew and Spider with all the chance they can ask for to take him. That being
Oh,
said,
who bugged? Someone bugged as well there. Budala, eh?
Budala is
Yeah,
out.
yeah, yeah.
Mew is pretty far behind. Spider makes a mistake now, so I don't know. This map and consistency just don't go well together.
Mm.
We'll
It
see what
is
happens.
indeed very hard here. Very, very tricky to get through the
I
turns.
think the interesting thing here. Okay, so Racerlight in second place. I think for his comeback, it is absolutely essential that he finishes this time because most of his direct competition up top has opt out. So very important that he finishes in second place if he wants to keep himself in the race. We obviously know that he can just start gaining back points very easily with his skill, but he
Mm.
can't afford to have another disastrous map one like he had last week.
Yeah, very true. He finishes in second place here. Dopa with a very strong time, 128.68. That
So
is
he just
looking good.
keeps setting basically impeccable lap times, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah.
So people in the chat notice that we're changing the POVs often. The problem is that Rema is the one broadcasting and I'm the one talking, and I have my own spectator view, so we're not looking at the same things, and
Yeah.
he often changes POV to keep up with what I'm talking about, and sometimes that happens that way. Sorry about that.
Exactly.
Unfortunately, we can't really watch the same exact feed, synchronize ourselves.
Yeah. I will
We
try
we'd
to
love a
trim it
camera car.
down.
Yeah, we'd love a camera car, but unfortunately
Yeah,
not
that would be good.
exactly affordable. Sorry about that, but unfortunately very difficult for us to fix streaming at home this way. Going down to round number 6, and it's just 5-0 blue team. Probably going to be done in 7 rounds unless something really miraculous happens.
All right.
That's not great for Racerlight, who makes a small mistake. He's going to have to hope for
Oh,
others to drop,
Devil as
and Devil
well.
obliges. Budala
Oof.
also obliges, so the comeback is slowly starting to materialize. Budala with a dreadful map 1. Already. Oh no, Mew makes a huge
Oh,
mistake as
what?
well.
He was flying. So Mew
So,
out.
so this is exactly what I was talking about. Racerlight is a second behind, but he's still probably going to secure something like fifth place, maybe even fourth. But perhaps more importantly, for the sake of this map, this might be a red round. That being said, though, Lucky Shot has just
Oh,
dropped the position to Racerlight, so this can still go any which way, but I think it should still be a red round.
looking good for them indeed.
Well, at least I hope it's going to be a red round because they kind of need it. Dopamine with the fastest
Phew.
time thus far, 128.5. Now we're waiting to see how
Let's
this
see.
round is going to finish, but as far as I can tell, it could be red.
Yeah,
And it is a
it
red
is.
round.
There we go. So
Now,
5-1 already for blue team. Indeed, like we
so
expected a bit before, right?
I think uh, I think it's gonna be it's kind of favorable for the. We're already seeing dopamine break away, but it doesn't really matter that he broke away because the middle of the pack is pretty compact, close together.
Yeah.
It doesn't really matter for the rest of the players, that they're not able to secure first place because that's kind of their expectation, I think, playing against Dopamine in Division One. But just getting those free 5, 10 point advantages against your direct competition, that's going to be important. And
Yeah.
that red round means that there's just more time for these long rounds or mistakes to put you on the front of that midfield. And
Ooh.
Dopamine now, you as
Oh
well, free P.
no! What happened there? I think two people hit the pole and Mew had some kind of a bug, so a lot of people
Yeah,
gone
so
now.
only 4 people still in this round. Not even sure that's a blue round looking like because the red team made some bigger mistakes. Israelite now trying to complete the comeback. He's back on 28 points, shared third place with Lucky Shot and Devil. He really wants to keep it going. Lucky Shot will oblige. He will donate the point to Racerlight, so looking much better for him on map 1 this time. And let's see if he can actually overhaul one more position by the end of it all, thanks to a mistake of some kind.
Let's see, Spyro and Devil with a little chase there. Racer Light looking to overtake one of them still in the last
Just
lap,
no
but
pace and no mistakes to be done on the final corner either.
there we go.
Devil with a 28 this time. It's a solidly blue round. That's map point for them. I think Spider kind of establishing himself in clear second place now. Perhaps not the advantage he might have wanted, but an advantage nonetheless, and one that he's going to need. Now that Division One is a bit more compact, only 8 players instead of 10 last week. No real chance to get sort of these free points advantages.
Yeah, very true. So
With a 10-player field, when you made a serious mistake, you oftentimes lost more points to your competition than the average. So we're going to see the field be a lot closer now. I guess the only exceptions right now are Budala, who's just, he's pretty much out of it. He's 10 points even behind you and Steak, and they themselves are 10 points behind the middle of the pack. So not ideal for either of them. Steak with a pretty weak performance after last week's excellent performance, and Mew, he started off well. But in the past 3 or 4 rounds, he's only gained a couple of points, and it's not looking good for him in this round either. Needs to step it up because those qualifying points here, they're not going to keep him aloft forever.
yep, will be very hard for him. Will be looking to gather some more points on the way. Meanwhile, interesting fight going on here. Spider again looking pretty good.
He is indeed, so that's just much better than last week. Consistency finally the name of the game for the PNE player, but he touches the wall just as we say it.
No.
Caster Curse #1 of the night.
All right.
I don't think he's gonna mind too much because Devil has just obliged.
Oh
Completely
no.
unexpected heavy crash. Not really sure what that was about, but he's
All
going to
right.
drop behind. Dopamine secures the round win, seals the map for blue team. After 8 rounds, we are done here. It's a solid first place for Dopamine. We're going to see how the points actually shake up in the middle of the field as I try to record them really quickly. We're going to keep the count going because that's half the fun, honestly, as the apps start to approach their logical conclusion. So
Yeah.
just going to really quickly record that, and you can maybe introduce number 2 while I jot them down.
Yeah, let's see. As I switch to the intermission here, quickly gotta fix something in the background. And I need to move you here as well, so I will do some streaming maintenance here. There we go. We have a little Deft now here as well in the intermission screen. That's good. All right. Yeah, so interesting performance by Dopa, I think, on that last map. And what will we see here? Return of the Medaille by Bellman.
So that map is, I think, the most regular map you're going to see. This is just a plain flat map, nothing to see here, nothing unorthodox, nothing really to pay attention to. It is straight up just a flat map. which,
All right.
I mean, for BFNL standards, it is the most playable map, probably the most consistent map, but obviously perhaps not as fun to watch as it might be somewhere else.
Mm-hmm. All right. So it's your standard flat map procedure.
Yeah, so I mean, there is really just nothing to be said here because there aren't even really any unorthodox elements on this map, I suppose. It does really play like a strong competition flat map, and that I think is kind of good for a change. No
All right.
weird Rammsteins to be seen here. I guess this jump is maybe the only thing that can sort of mess you up with a land bug.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we're gonna see what happens. As per
And
talking a bit more about the fairness of the divisions, to be fair, um, I think the divisions were pretty lopsided in the first, couple of weeks. Div 1 and Div 2 both didn't really look good. Didn't really look entirely fair, honestly. We started seeing pretty big differences between players as the matches progressed, and I think that's just to be expected. If one is 8 players, and it is a bit top heavy when Dopamine and Devil are at full performance, so we're gonna see maybe if some of the other players now who are pretty strong at these, conventional maps,
okay.
maybe they can finally start catching up and upset them. Because again, this is some of these players are just very well accustomed to this. This is your average map. You've played this all the time on 60k, 90k. You've played this on every competition you've ever tried. Even if you don't really like the BFNL format and maybe how some of the maps are funky, this should be right up your alley. And I'd like to see some better performance from you because he really needs to start picking up the points.
Yeah.
He's currently in 6th place, but not that far ahead of Stake, and I don't think he can afford another bottom 4 placement.
All right. So there we go. And talking about Stake, needs to step it up himself a bit. Looking for the points here.
So unlike map 1 last time, comebacks can still happen, especially in the midfield, but they should ideally start now because, again, for some players, for Mew in particular, I want to say, and maybe for Stake as well, this map is going to feel right at home for so many of these players, and I expect them to be comfortable, and I expect them to do less mistakes as a result. That being said, though, we already have a pretty significant disparity forming after the first couple of corners. No mistakes, but just their pace. Putting Budala behind, putting Lucky Shot behind. I think Budala also made a small mistake there. Narrow turn, heads into the jump to end lap 1, and Dopamine touches the wall.
Oh, he will not make it. All right, so he's gone.
Making a mistake there requires a respawn. It basically puts you out of the round. So
yeah,
that's, I think, the only non-standard part about this map. The jump where you have to make it, at least if you have to, but can't afford to miss it. Spider now falling slightly behind. It's looking like a solidly blue round despite Dopamine's mistake. Mew, Racerlight, and Devil. Feels like PTC all over again with these 3 players at the very top and everyone else far behind. Stake keeping up in 4th place, might even try to attempt a cheeky overtake later. Mew with a mistake, that's gonna suck for him because this is the map where he has to make up the most points.
Alright, so could not
Round 1 comes to a close. That's 134.5 by Devil. 134's low, 135's then for most players, but to be fair, most of them actually made mistakes. Or to judge the real pace, Dopamine with a bit of a weekend 2-wheel finish, and
alright, so that was round
that was round 1, and good times for Stake and Racerlight. Their competition just dropping around them, 7 and 6 points respectively, and both of them can use a bit of a boost.
Yeah, very true.
Dopamine coming in last is a nice little gift to catch up with him, but I don't think he's going to repeat that again, so they have to stay close to him if they hope to compete. Maybe an outside chance at 1st place. They're going to need several more mistakes, and they're going to need to keep capitalizing very strongly indeed. Lucky Shot with a pretty severe mistake. That's going to put him down. Looking good on points in map 1, but he can't afford to throw away his advantage he might have to the bottom positions. He's not safe to elimination himself.
Yeah, that would
Mew again going into 2nd place. So again, this is the map where he has to score. Consistency above everything. I think he can easily secure at least 5 points per round. Really needs to as well.
Let's see if he stays in this time. Dopa looks a bit shaky in the turn before the jump there, right before where he made the mistake last round. He did it, almost did it again, and there goes Mew. No.
I mean, there's really no point in risking. He's faster than basically everyone not named Dopamine, and he needs the points. I'm not sure why the risk. It's
Yeah.
not going to kill you. You already have 2 players that failed this round. Just pick up the points. Dopamine then in 5th position. If you didn't crash, it would be 6th place. So
Yeah.
that's interesting. He's trying to make a last corner comeback though. Will secure 1 position, but he slides
no,
out.
again, and he needs to.
But Devil also failed the jump.
Oh no, they both need to respawn. Same mistakes being made. Oh my days.
Devil.
In the last
Yes.
lap. That is insane.
Spider needed those 8 points because he only got 2 on the previous round, but Dopamine and Devil finishing bottom 2.
Wow.
Not every day you get to see that, and more importantly, Dopamine with 3 points in the first 2 rounds.
Oh my days.
How the hell is that going on?
Wow, so Spider actually doing well then, I think, because he finished. Where did he finish? Second or third? Last
Shared
month?
second,
I think
shared
so.
second
Yeah,
with
okay.
Razorlight. So Razorlight now actually
Ah,
might even take overall lead of Division 1 solo rank
wow.
if he can manage to put Dopamine behind himself a few more times. That being said, I don't think Dopa's going to allow that to happen, or at least he's going to strike back ferociously this round. He's already
Let's see.
absolutely carving up the field in terms of raw pace. That being said, Acerlight is in striking distance if even a small mistake happens, keeping up well, maximizing his points, doing the exact right thing.
Very nice. So on the
Mew
consistency
again
tour.
in 8th position. He does take advantage of mistakes by Stake and Lucky Shot and also Budala's mistakes, so he'll be in 5th place, but I think he also made a small mistake himself because he's quite far behind.
Alright. So Moo's struggling so far. Looking. Oh, Dopa with a bug! No way! He resets. So
And
Dopa.
Spider also drops
Wow.
down, so Mew is now in 3rd position despite having a pretty bad start to the round. This is what I'm talking about.
Wow.
Sometimes the answer really is just, keeping yourself at striking distance 3/10 of a second, 5/10 of a second, and just hoping that your opponents will make a mistake, because it has been shown in week 1 and also now in week 2.
Yeah.
You can and will see mistakes even out of Division 1 players.
Yeah.
Devil now trying to finish and not fail the jump. He needs the point injection.
There we go.
Will get it. So we see 134.45. That's sort of the elite time range. Only Spider and Devil reaching it so far.
Alright. So that was interesting by Dopa. 3 mistakes in a row here. Who need individual points anyway. Yeah, of course Dopa, he got a lot on the first map, but did Razorlight just take first place?
Yes, he did.
Wow.
Yes, he did. As a matter of fact, Razorlight has actually overtaken him. And individual points here are the most important thing, right? Your team ranking is kind of secondary, and
Yeah.
it is always best to play for yourself. And sometimes, and this is the interesting part of BFNL, sometimes you want your team to lose. Something that you wouldn't really see in a team match. Normally you play for the team and your solo points don't matter. Mew, another mistake. It is a bit of a bug, to be fair, but still, there was no need to risk going over the ROM in the first place when you know that this game has buggy Ramsteins.
Yep. Yeah, we
Just
see it
playing, I
happen a
think,
lot.
unnecessarily risky, because he
Yeah.
does have 14 points, but his pace and was really enough to even be overall first in points, and I think he's just dropped a chance to strike back at a lot of his competition that might be dropping 3 points left and right. Now
Very
he's in
true.
8th place and he's trying to, wait for some kind of mistake, but
Dopa with a bug landing here. So there we
so
go.
the land bug can absolutely affect you at the end of this jump, and
Yeah.
you can also land into some sort of weird steering by the game. You can
Yeah.
get bugged out, and Dopa's suffering from this. He's in last place. He's about to stay in last place unless something spectacular happens. So I don't know, man. That's not just going to bring Racerlight back. That's actually going to bring a whole lot of players actually
Yeah.
on level points with Dopa. The first time in basically 2 weeks. So wide open now. Division
That's
1,
insane.
fair for the taking, yeah.
That is insane. So Dopa with bugs and mistakes. Still a blue round, I think, or will it be a draw like this?
Lucky shot dropping at the end, oh no.
No.
That's gonna give Dopa an extra point. Ay, ay,
I.
ay.
That is not what the rest of the field wants to see. Lucky shot with his horn. Finishing. There we go. And that is a blue round. I think it would have been a draw, right? If Lucky would have finished sixth there. Wouldn't
Yes,
he
it
have
would have
been?
been so.
Yeah.
That's not doing himself any, that's not doing him any favors. He's at 14 points, so failing there doesn't just have consequences for his team, it has consequences for him individually.
Yeah.
You're gonna drop points in this round, and you're gonna get fewer rounds to try to regain that solo ranking. So when your points start mattering, that really changes the dynamic of team games. And
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh, Dopa
dopamine
again?
again?
No, what are we seeing? Oh my god,
How is
guys.
this happening?
Dopa with
5, 6 rounds in a row.
not one clean round to be seen from him so far. That is absolutely insane. Devil now in the wall as well. What is going on? And Spider is leading the field.
Razorlight is free to take overall lead right now. Everybody else is either making mistakes or is nowhere to be seen in points. Razorlight looking like the clear victor of map 2, just benefiting so much from what's happening ahead of him.
That is insane.
And now, if Mew makes another, characteristic mistake, it's just going to be so good as Razorlight, who was joined second on the first map, but 13 points behind Opa. Well, he's now overhauled him very comfortably.
Yeah, that is looking really strong from Racer, upholding himself very well in consistency. Mew, can he actually? Never
And
mind.
it happens again. Like, why would you do this? There are 3 fails on the field. You're in first place, and you are faster than everyone else. Don't do this.
Too bad from him. Spider taking over the lead. Razorlight with another extra free point there. Will finish in second place, and really he's looking strong here, Racer. While Dopa, well, what is there to say really about this? Dopa bottom last.
And last by quite a bit, so Budala now gets 6 points. Dopa only 1. This means he's actually going to be dead last by some margin.
Yeah.
Look at this. Half the points of 7th place. And 7th place has half the points of first place.
That is insane.
What are we seeing?
Yeah.
This is what Dopamine did to Devil Map 2 last week, and now it's coming back. Map 2 just... What is going on?
What a massacre.
Last week on Map 2, he had 119 points. Let me just put that into perspective for you.
Yeah.
119 points on Map 2 last week. Currently, 9 points.
That is insane. That is very insane. And actually, it was a red round, so that might be better or worse for some players here. At least red sneaks a point. So
I think, look, if you're Mew, you're thanking your lucky stars. That's a red round because you need to catch up points.
yeah.
If you're a Razorlight, I don't think you're feeling bad about that either. You're competitive in every single round, and everybody around you is throwing. Sure, he might have wanted it to end a bit earlier, but he's not minding that at all.
Yeah.
I think that just, most players are fine with the map continuing at this stage. I don't think anyone would be particularly happy to see it end, except maybe Razorlight, obviously.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, that's fair enough.
Because it's quite unlikely that Dopamine is not, he's going to make a comeback. If he can finish these rounds, he's probably going to finish first.
Yeah.
So right now, if you're Razorlight, you're looking for 3rd place finishes, 4th place finishes to just minimize the amount of points that Dopamine can eat into your lead. I think that's what you're trying to achieve right now.
All right. So let's see if Dopa can indeed finish this time here.
Maybe if Razorlight can snipe Mew at the finish line. Razorlight trying to snipe Mew at the finish line. Who lands first? It is Razorlight.
Oh, he will take it. Wow. Same time, but he takes it. Full blue ace there. Dopa finally with a win. Wow. Strong times all over the board, I think, by Team Blue.
And Stake won't even finish, so that's 0 points for this round. That's gonna put him in a really bad way.
That is not good for him.
But the overall level of this round was incredibly strong. 134.5 were the fastest times we've seen thus far. Dopamine just broke that by some margin, and other players struck.
Yep. So
I don't
Dopa
know.
finally released.
Razorlight feels good. Maybe he can't stop Dopa from winning the rounds, but if he can get these sort of 6-point finishes, 7-point finishes, he's going to preserve his advantage, I feel, very, very well. And Mew as well, he's not going to say no to +5, considering what stake, lucky shot, and Budala are doing behind him. But I don't know. It feels to me like Mew could have been up there with 35 points, maybe even 40, if he just,
Yeah,
finished the rounds. He was up there on pace and just made some puzzling decisions that are basically froze.
very true. As we see
Devil now
Devil
dropping, so this is
drifting.
the golden opportunity. So now I want Mew to just realize Devil is nowhere to be seen. You are in first place. Finish a 6-point round if you have to. Drop a few positions, but finish the round.
Yeah,
Really need it.
come on. He has to keep it up here in a very good position now.
Israelite
Spider
land bug.
behind him.
Racerlight just
no.
land bugged.
And he drifts again. So Mew out, overtaken by basically
And now Mew's going to
everyone.
be in eighth place. So that's just completely inexplicable. But Devil's going to give him a point back. Just what's going on with Devil?
Racerlight as well. What are we seeing at the moment, guys? Meanwhile, Team Red is battling with Dopamine here. Oh my days, and Spider taking the lead.
This will prolong the map. That's actually going to really play into the hand of some players. Israelite's gonna really hate his life right now. He's in 8th place. Dopamine is finishing second or maybe even first in the meantime. That's not looking very good for the lead that he accumulated. Dopamine even snipes first place from Spider. It's a photo finish.
Same time, and he takes it. So
Racerlight just hates his life right now. Mew and Devil crashing as well, and just that's not looking good. He had a huge lead to Dopamine, but look at this. It was a huge difference between first and last place, but now the entire field has compacted itself completely, and now we're within 17 points from first to last place.
So this might be very, very interesting the next couple of rounds. It's 4-3 right now in favor of blue team, so no closing out the map yet, and we are still going, guys.
It's probably still going to be +1 position for everyone on blue team, so Mew is going to be thanking his lucky stars, because that's going to play very well into his favor.
Yeah.
It's going to suck for Budala even more, because he's just pretty much bottom most of the time, and he's not going to get the 2 points to bail him out this time. It's not looking particularly good for him. He might be demoted, depending on the results of Div 2, since obviously some players have to score well in order to secure that promotion. Budala even retires from the round. 0 points for him on this one, and also basically a free blue point.
Mew again with a drift, as he was in second place just behind Dopa, gives it away. Now in 7th place, basically last since Budala gave up.
That's just completely unnecessary. He has all the pace he needs, but he's dropping points for no reason.
Yeah.
But I think if he just tried playing even a bit more consistently, he would easily retain his Div 1 spot, but I think he's going to be slipping positions in Div 1 basically for no reason at all. He's not lacking in skill, he's just not finishing rounds that he really should.
Yeah, so that is it for Mew. Dopa with another strong time here. Blue will close it out, and the ending of the map gets closer and closer actually. So Dopamine indeed now climbing up to 4th place already. That is interesting.
Racerlight and Spider were joint second on the last map, and you might think to yourself that this means that they're the big winners, but they're only ahead by a couple of points, and the midfield, I think, is still going to be very close at the end of this map, unless we see a real big break from someone in the final rounds.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't know, it's not looking very good to me.
It will be very hard indeed. Spider.
In terms of consistency also, nobody really kind of standing out on this map. Everybody has made their fair share of mistakes, and the pace is also looking pretty even across the board. True. Spider this time leading, Mew in second place. Finished the second place, and I'm pleased.
All right.
Looking like a solidly blue round, which is going to put them on map point, but we'll see.
We'll see what will happen indeed. So Spider being chased now by almost all the blue guys. Let's see if he can keep it up here. Looking good for him. Still first place. Oh no, he drifts. Just.
That's the curse number 2.
Yeah, there we go. It touches the green and he's out. Oi oi oi. Now is Dopa leading in front of Stiko here. Where did he came from?
Very but nice. Racerlight is going to overhaul him for second position, and Racerlight really needs that. So just minimize your losses to Dopamine. Already gave up, almost 6 points out of his advantage earlier. He doesn't want to repeat that again. So keep it nice and close. That's the only way you can keep a chance for yourself. That's
All
a
right.
solidly blue round, and the way it's looking, it's going to end in a 7-3 on map 2.
Yeah. Looking like that. Dopa again with a win. Mew 5th place there.
Only 4 points, yeah. I think he could have really had more. That is at least one small mistake he did there.
But the field is super close, as you pointed out. There is really not one player who is extremely far ahead. But
So
yeah, the map is on map point.
Razorlight could have straight up won this map, been the biggest winner on consistency, but he did make, I think he dropped around 10 points to just some weird mistakes that
Yeah.
could have really ensured that he took overall first and by a healthy margin. Right now, it seems to me like Dopa will actually continue being point first unless he crashes out this round or the round goes red. Dopamine's lead will be eliminated for the most part, but he will still be in the overall lead at the end of this map if he can finish now with a first place. Mew dropping
Mew
away,
again.
some other players dropping away, just a huge lack of consistency from some of these players. But the pace, at least, I think, looks very promising. And I'm going to be very surprised, actually, to see Div 2 players matching the kind of pace we're seeing here on average.
Yeah.
If Div 2 can, stand out in some way, in my opinion, it would have to be consistency.
Yeah. Yeah, looking forward to that, of course, upcoming Sunday. See who demotes here today. And of course, later in the week we'll see what happens in the competition. So, yeah, for now, looking like a blue round. They will close out the map probably. Dopamine, Devil here, a little fight at the end. Let's see who'll take it. And we'll
So
move on to the next one.
this was just strategically a very, very sound map from Racer. Like, this is exactly what I want to see from him. You don't have to be in first place fighting with Dopamine and Devil, but you have to be securing these +6s.
Yeah.
His pace might not be, nearly as good as that of the ones in front, and he only has one time in the top 12 fastest times, but it doesn't matter because
Yeah.
he's picking up all the points he needs to be picking up.
He is
It's just very, very
Mystico.
smart play.
Yeah. He is doing very, very well. All right. So on to the next map we goes. I'm sure that...
Okay, I'm gonna just do some quick point calculations while you introduce the viewers to.
Alright, so it's Hound of Tindalos. And we'll be quickly looking at the map and see what will happen here. So some interesting
Disconnected
performances.
for a moment.
We still here?
Yes, I
Alright.
think I am.
Good, good, good.
We're going to 7. I think it was 7-0 or 7-1. 7-1 on the first map. Yes.
Yeah.
This is gonna be blue, and we already, had that coming. But
yeah.
solo ranking is really what matters here, and we're going to be presenting that as soon as I crunch the points.
Alright. So give me 1 second as I will quickly do a toilet break for myself. So BRB, guys.
I'm gonna keep you company. This third map, Hound of Tindalos by Ronig, is the platform map for this week. So BFNL always tries to strive for a mixture of styles, and Hound of Tindalos is our platform map this week. Very interesting lines. I think very unforgiving. In particular, you really can't afford to toy around with alternate lines on this particular map. You want to stay very stable, just have the laziest time of your life, basically sleep at the wheel, try to put out consistent laps, and I think a lot of points can be earned by just letting your opponents take the risks which they really can't afford to make. In the meantime, we're going to be crunching up the points, just making sure we know. Does seem like my camera has died. Not sure if you can hear me.
Oof! Back just in time. Alright. Map number 3 on the way.
Okay, so survey is on the way as warm-up ends, and we're going to present the first map. There are two maps in the solo ranking, at least.
Alright.
We have Dopa leading with 103 points. Razorlight 1 point behind, 102. Spider with 90, Lucky Shot with 75, Devil with 89, U 58, Stake with 66, and Budala with 50 points.
Alright. There we go. I hope chat catch that, because you were a little bot for a second there. I hope Discord is not getting too shaky with connection, but yeah, so there we go. Deft robot confirmed. Yeah, but the points, we got them now, so that is a good update. And let's see how the players will maintain that here on map number 3. Dopa in the lead right now. Alright, and is Deft actually still here? Oh, he says connection issues. Alright, it's okay. Deft, take it easy, my man. He will be back with us shortly, guys. Alright, Dopa hunting here for the number 1 spot. We saw Stiko, Lucky Shot made huge mistakes here, so they will not be at the party. Dopamine finishing with a 113.96. There we go. So that is the first round done. Thank you so much, McKiller, for the gifted sub. Very nice.
And you hear me now?
Yeah, I can actually hear you, and I can see you again. So let me quickly.
Okay, so Cam should be alive. All right, so
there we go. Welcome back.
So I presume that you can hear me better now. I'm going to just repeat the point totals as we head into round number 2.
Yes, thank you.
So we have Dopamine leading the field with 103 points. Razorlight only 1 point behind, 102. Spider in third with 93. Devil in fourth, 89. Then Go Lucky with 75. Mew with 68. Stake with 66 points. And Budala with 50 in last place.
Alright, so very close.
That
actually
is the state after 2 maps, yes. So yeah. Razorlight competitive with Dopamine, although it should be said that Dopamine made about 5 mistakes in a row, which was
very true.
I think extremely uncharacteristic, and it seems that he's back to winning ways. Razorlight with a colossal mistake. That's going to put his chances of keeping up with Dopamine out of the question.
Yep.
It seems like one of the players didn't finish the previous round, and it seems to me like that was Lucky Shot that we're missing, so he didn't even finish the last round, not in the point totals.
No, still has to get some points for himself. And he is driving here right now. 4th place for him here, +5. And Dopa takes it again, a 113.61. So Dopa looking to drive sometimes into the mid-13s. We'll see if anybody can keep up later on.
Yes, and the interesting thing to point out here is actually, it seems like all of the times have lined up very nicely around the second margin. So 114 here, 134 on the previous map, 128 on the first map. Sort of these elite times are always on the second barrier, so it's going to be very easy to spot out decent times, I think, in Division 2 and 3 as well.
Alright, very good.
Heading now into round number 3, I mean, it's going to keep being blue domination. I think at this point they've also kind of secured the overall win, or they're about to in a couple of rounds, so that's out of the doubt. And what this means, in effect, is that all 4 players on the blue team are treated as though they finished 1 position higher. It's a 2-point bonus, which is the equivalent of finishing 1 position higher in the solo ranks. And I think Racer's going to love this because he was in 8th place and he's looking very good to finish 2nd, plus a 2-point bonus.
That is very good
is
for him.
So far being the big winner of today, but he needs to not drop the ball now. A big mistake in the previous round. This time it's Dopamine, Devil, and Mew who are out, so Razorlight stands to benefit. He should finish this round, preferably in that 1st place, and keep himself close and in good possession of 2nd place.
Alright, and so he will. A 114.12 for him. 3rd fastest time. No, that is not true. The 5th fastest time so far, so okay time by Racer. Keeps the 1st spot here. And nice.
This is another Yes, and he's going to like the fact that he seems like a very consistent player on this map. His pace is absolutely on par, but more importantly, it's a red round, which
Yeah,
prolongs the map. That's kind of, I think that suits everyone because it is very close. They kind of want to, establish themselves a bit more. And when somebody breaks away, then maybe they'll want the map to end a bit sooner. But red team taking rounds, I think, is just beneficial for everyone at this time.
all right. So that was a strike back indeed by red team, and let's see if they can keep it up, stress the map just a bit further. That would be very interesting.
The unfortunate thing, I think, is that at this point it is pretty clear that Budala will be finishing last today, and that I think is going to pretty much put him at the mercy of some of the top players in Division 2. I
Yeah,
think people waiting to promote Extrem, Yuki, Focus, I think all of them, if they're watching the stream now, they're just thinking to themselves, oh, that's a spot for me.
yeah,
And I have to earn it this Sunday in the Division 2 match.
yeah. That will be very interesting then. Oh, devil, little touch.
Spider as well, he's just
Oh,
gone completely.
yeeted himself. All right. So
Absolutely gone. And
he's gone.
that,
Moo.
Racerlight actually saved that round for them and Mew as well with that
Yeah,
second place. So it's not going to be a red round thanks to Spider's mistake. But that could have well been a draw or even a red round
yeah.
if it had went just a little bit differently. So
Some
looking good.
throws here and there.
Mew is in some pretty hefty need of points. So he's going to be happy with this and he wants to keep finishing these 113s.
Yeah,
He's not in a position where he has points to spare. He really wants to keep getting this done.
he has to step it up, and I think the same goes for Steaky right now, right? He was second
Yes,
overall, or second to last, I mean, in points.
yes, that's just not looking good for Stake at all. He's just been outclassed today. He's down there with Mew. He is clear of Budala, but unfortunately, Devil and basically the entire top four is well clear of Mew and Stakey at this time. So both of them are fighting an uphill battle to secure these higher point positions.
Yeah,
Dopamine now, it seems like he made a small mistake at the beginning. So Racerlight trying to capitalize, but he has a pretty bad last turn. He's going to be dropping several positions. Oh, that was so holy.
ui, 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 where did he go? Alright, so has
Having
to give
said,
away some
that risk
positions.
still didn't pay off because
Yeah,
failing that last corner, it drops your speed. This time he's going to get a bit of a gift from you, who had a pretty bad corner. He can maybe make up some positions with mistakes at the very end, but I think Racerlight could have really secured more points on this round, and I think that's just going to be a solitary sixth place finish, maybe even seventh with another bad final turn.
yeah.
Dopamine right behind him. He does save
Alright, and it's a red
sixth
round as
position.
well.
Red
That's
round and
interesting.
Dopamine finishes last.
Yeah,
This changes the balance of the map dramatically because now Dopamine can't break away. We have 6 players in 4 points
that is
and eight
insane.
players in 11 points. This is exactly the competition we want to see.
Very nice.
The big losers would now be Mew and Stake because they're not making up points to the main pack, but everybody in the top four right now, so Devil, Spider, Acerlight, and Dopa, they're just staring at each other and thinking, I don't mind this. This is okay. I can
Yeah.
live with this.
Oh, Spider, no! He hit the wall there. Huge mistake by him, trying to cut a bit of
Racerlight
a
again in
jump.
first place. He's really trying to keep up the fight with Dopamine. He was only 1 point behind him.
Alright.
And he might try to take the overall lead again. Dopamine had to release a bit. So Racerlight, everything to play for. If he can secure this first place, he's just given himself a huge, huge boost in his battle.
Wow, let's
Can he
see.
do it is the question, because he's got stiff competition from Lucky Shot, Stake, Devil, all of them nipping at his heels. There is no free position in Division 1. Absolutely nothing free. And Racerlight looking like he might have even lost a position, but I do think that's a good trajectory in that final turn. He
Very
has a lot
good.
of speed. He leaves 2 people behind. Devil with more speed. He's probably going into that first place, but Racerlight +7, you're going to take that any day
Alright.
of the week.
Wow, very, very nice. So Dopa in fifth place, that is, with 4 points. So does Razorlight overtake him now? I think... No, not just yet. Only 1 point
Yes,
between
but
them
it
now.
doesn't change anything. Again, we have 6 players in 7 points. Actually, 7 players in 8 points.
Wow.
So the map very well balanced, and the fact that red team is sneaking away rounds also means that it's unlikely to change. It would have to be blue team domination now to seal this map with some kind of breakaway. Otherwise, I think point counts on map 3 might not be a lot different than they were on map 2. Nobody breaking away
Yeah.
this time around.
That is interesting to see, and just what we were hoping for indeed for Division 1, I think. Being super close here. So that is nice. Oh, Spider just catching the CP with an enormous speed boost there. I don't know where he came from, overtaking everyone.
Yes, and this is another interesting thing. So, Racer had unfortunately dropped a lot of speed. He's going to get overtaken by Dopamine, but for a while there, it looked like he again had the chance to take the advantage over Dopamine. Unfortunately, he doesn't capitalize on it. He's now in last place, and Dopamine is making up positions, but he makes a small mistake.
Oh,
I think Dopamine might have touched slightly, but nobody is coming up behind to take his position.
no.
Multiple mistakes behind him mean he gets off without error scot-free,
Racer
thanking his
far
lucky
behind.
stars.
Wow. So Dopa with some mistakes here, but Racer with even more mistakes. And Dopa, oh, he will be sniped by Budala there. Racer Light finishing last.
Yes, but it's only a 2 point difference, so it's not as bad as it could have been.
Very
Map
true.
still everything to play for. Stake finally catching up, not being left behind on this map, but the problem is he actively wants to be making up points, and he's not really doing that.
Very true, although it was again a red round, so it stays even, just like you said before. And it
So this
stays
map,
close.
this map is not really working in anyone's favor. I think at this point, it was good for the players at the very beginning, but now we're approaching, the round limit, and soon there just won't be enough time to, really prolong the map much more. And nobody has broken away yet, so
Yeah,
I
yeah, very
think
interesting.
most players at this point are really not being too happy with this because they're not able to change their fates.
Oh,
Spider dropping off with a huge mistake.
he is gone
That's not
again.
going to feel good because he's already down in the dregs with only 26 points. That's not going to be very good for him because most of the field is going to be even further away from him now.
Alright, so huge
Lucky
mistake
Shot now
indeed.
leading this one. That's a name I didn't expect to see, but if he can finish this round, he's going to do himself a huge favor. He's still competitive with 31 points, and he desperately needs the points injection. So let's see.
Let's see,
With
there
less
he
speed on
goes.
the exit.
Oh
Oh
no!
no!
No, he touched some corner or something. I don't know what exactly happened. Dopamine
Yes,
overtakes
he
him.
did touch the border, and
He
Dopamine
clipped
overtakes
it.
him.
Oi,
That was a
oi.
very that was a very strong time for Lucky Shot. That could have been the fastest time we actually seen thus far. That
Yeah.
was a very, very good round from him, but unfortunately, he gets nothing out of it.
Ah, some mini clip.
Oh, that's ugly.
That was too bad. Alright, and
That was bad.
Spider not finishing there, so not a great round for him as well. Another blue round though,
Yeah,
so
Spider now dead
5-2.
last on this map, and that's just not looking good. He was in possession. He was in pretty strong possession of third place, but now that's just completely out the window.
Yeah, I think it's good for him that the differences in points are not that huge on this map, which means that his poor performance will
He's
maybe.
still he's no he's still far behind everybody he's competing against, and that's the part that sucks.
Ah,
Sure,
that's
it's
true.
not as bad as it could have been, but you're
Yeah,
still the one who is fighting back here.
yeah, yeah,
Tyler
yeah.
really wants a red round right now. It's sort of imperative because he can't make up that points deficit in only 2 rounds. He
That is
needs
true.
red team to win, and he needs them to win now. Dopamine is going to oblige. He makes a mistake. He's in eighth place. This is the
Oof.
only chance red team might still get on this map. Dopamine with a second mistake, so his comeback is going to be curtailed for a while. Red team needs to strike, and they need to strike now. If they drop this, that's going to be bad and really bad for him.
Alright, so Spyro doing it for
You with a
himself
mistake.
here.
They're obliging, so red team
Alright.
has to finish this round. Do not make any mistakes now. Almost all the red players want this map to continue on. Budala leading. Just don't crash, and it looks like they won't. 4 red players heading into the finish line. It's almost an ace. Devil will deny
Phew.
it, but still, it's a fairly red round.
Alright. There we go. So red team doing what we asked for here, extending the map in their own
Yeah,
favor.
Spider loves that. That was just 7 points in the bank and a red round.
Yeah,
This is exactly what he needs if he wants to claw it back, but he's still last. He needs more rounds like this. Ideally, another red round, maybe another 7 point finish. That would be great for him.
alright, so we closely follow Spider here. trying to take as many
Dopamine
points as
and
he can.
Racerlight, look at this. So that's the fight for direct first place. They're only separated by 2 points. Racerlight had a lot of chances, I think, to strike at Dopamine, who's made an uncharacteristic amount of mistakes, but still, Dopamine maintaining his overall lead of Division 1. This time, though, not by 100 points, but by 1.
That is very interesting, yeah. So no repeat of last weekend, but
Who was
good to
that
see
dropping away?
here.
I think it was Lucky Shot, and that sucks because he
Yep.
was he was up ahead.
Also
This
Dopa.
basically makes the red round impossible. Yeah, so Dopamine again, Racerlight has to take advantage of this.
Yeah.
Last round he didn't really get much out of it. This round he needs to finish better than sixth place if he wants to really put some dents into Dopamine's lead and maybe take the overall lead. Stake will oblige, so it's not going to be a red round. Spider Down needs to protect that third position. He needs to make sure he finishes at least third, but look at that line by Racerlight. Delightful performance from him. That being said, exit is not
Ah,
exactly ideal, and
Spider in
Spider,
two.
second place, this is
Nicely
exactly
done.
what he needs.
Yeah.
And Mew as well in first place, they direly needed that.
Wow.
That's going to be good for both players, minimizing their losses. However, Racerlight only managing to take 2 points out of a round where Dopamine made two mistakes.
Yeah.
I think he was hoping for better. He really was.
Very true. So Racer again not taking the max out of that. On the other hand, Mew and Spider, the bottom two, one and two.
Yeah, now
So
they're back. Now they're
they're
back in
back.
it. Now they ideally now want it to be another red round.
Yeah.
Spider has clawed back some points, but in order to really make it, in order to really solidify that sort of comeback and to neutralize those mistakes, he needs a red round now.
Alright, so Red needs to push it one more time here. They need to
Spider
win.
Spider is really hoping for that red round, and I think if you're Devil, you want to absolutely dominate now. You want to get another 8 points. You want to finish it for Blue. So every player has his motivation, and it doesn't necessarily even need to be for his team to win. Racerlight, I think he would be perfectly fine with a red round and Dopamine crashing again because his fight is with his teammate,
Yeah,
not the enemy
yeah.
team.
Very interesting concept indeed that we are witnessing right now. Let's see if Spider can keep it up. Dopa,
That being
huge
said,
speed
though,
boost.
it's not looking very good. Spider is trying his
No.
damnedest. You can see he is aware of what he has to do, and he's doing the right things. But the problem is his team is not obliging, and he's not gonna get the chance to complete his comeback. That being said, he might try to pull a +8 here.
Wow.
Can he secure that? Who has the better line out of the final corner? Spider. Oh
Oh
my
my
God, that was
days. What a
such a good
line.
finishing sequence.
Let's see if he can finish it here. No bugs, no crashes, no nothing. He does it.
Beautiful round from
Wow.
Spider. That's exactly what he needs, and it's a red round. It's a
Oh
red
my
round.
days. Wait, where did everyone go? Devil made a huge
Devil with a
mistake in the
mistake.
end. Oh my
This is
god.
exactly what they needed. Spider Devil now completely dropped his lead, and there is an additional round for him to catch up. And Spider just got a chance to completely neutralize his earlier mistakes. Look at the dynamics of this BFNL format, just
Wow.
making it so entertaining to watch.
And super close here as well. Devil indeed throwing some points away, and all of a sudden, Stiko is in second place with 55 points. Might as well leave this map in first place in points here. So let's see
But
if he can.
he hasn't made up any significant. He's at a pretty bad disadvantage. It's not going to actually help his overall solo ranking all that much. Although it is nice to just see that you are competitive on this map.
Exactly.
I think Stake showing us exactly what I talked about before. Strategy is really more important here than pure pace. He has the weakest pure pace, basically second weakest fastest time out of all 8 players, but he's second in points because he's been taking advantage of these mistakes.
Yeah.
Looking like Blue Team will finish off the map, but Spider, again, he's trying to secure another strong finish to neutralize his earlier mistakes. This has been a great comeback from Spider, who just did the right thing and benefited a bit from Red Team also picking up the slack when it mattered, just taking full advantage of the opportunities that presented himself. But now he's dropped back 2 positions. Not gonna like that, but still, if he can take home this 5th place, he won't mind that at all. Does he get sniped? He doesn't. He barely keeps it ahead of
Wow.
Racerlight.
Alright.
Devil with that 1st place, that is integral for him. That's gonna give him a bit of an advantage that he might have thrown away. Blue Team finishes off map number 3. We're done with Hound of Tyndalos, and that was a strategic masterclass, and that was very interesting solo-wise.
Very nice. All right. So Devil.
Let's see how the solo points play out
Yeah.
after map number 3. I'm just gonna calculate them real quick for you.
All right. So we're gonna sit by, guys. Deft with the calculation of the points as we go into the last map here. Can't wait to hear the standings. The last map will be BFNL Circle that we will play here, and then the 4 maps will already be over here, guys. So
This
blue
was a
team
pretty
again.
quick match. Blue
Yeah.
team just dominant.
What is the
We
time?
expected that, to be fair, but you know, people had to be aware that this was the team draw. It wasn't a secret, so they had to know that this would happen. And I think that it was on them to prepare themselves for this and be
That's true.
aware of how they have to play, considering the dynamics of the match.
Yeah. Alright, so on the last map here is Circle, and I believe there is a cheeky finish here on this map. We saw it.
Yes, there
in the
is
warm-up,
a
I think.
risky finish, although to be fair, in practice, it's not nearly as risky as you might normally associate with risky finish.
Yeah.
I don't expect to see a lot of people failing it at all because it is quite easy to hit. They would
Alright.
really have to make a severe mistake, in my opinion, to miss it.
So we'll actually expect everyone to try to hit it, basically.
It would. I think it would be
Yeah.
pretty weird not to try, considering how it works in practice.
Alright.
So we're gonna be through with the points in a bit, see who were the winners and losers after map 3, and who's looking good for what position in this final map. This is
Alright.
where the solo ranking is going to get, I think, really, really spicy.
Alright. So can't wait to hear from Deft with the points, guys. In the meantime, players finishing the warm-up. We see the finish here. Little
Okay,
jump to the
so-
left. There it
Yes,
is.
it's a small jump, so they shouldn't really fail it. However, there are plenty of chances to fail the rest of the map, so we'll see what happens.
Alright.
As far as the points go, let's have an update. Before the final map, Dopa leads with 163 points. Racerlight keeps second place, 156 points. Devil in third, 154. Spider in fourth place, 147. Stake in fifth place, 127. Lucky sixth place, 116. Excuse me, Mew in sixth place with 117. Lucky in seventh with 116. And Budala dead last, 96 points.
Alright. Very spicy points, actually. I think number 2, 3, and 4 are super close
Yes,
still, and then there is a
so-
little gap.
Top 4 positions are still everything to play for. And as well, 5th, 6th, and 7th are basically at the drop of a coin. So everything to play for on this final map.
Alright.
Every player, except Budala, has something they can try to do.
So let's see, players are stepping it up here. Budala with a huge mistake. Mew out already as well. As we see Dopa, Lucky Shot, and Racerlight here. 1, 2, 3, and a little gap between them and the rest of the field right now. Let's see if Lucky Shot can keep it up.
Yeah, so right now we're just trying to, I think, 5th, 6th, the fight for 5th place is going to be Mew, Stake, and Lucky Shot. And top 4 fight, Dopa, Racer, Spider, and Devil. Interesting to see how they're actually going to compare with one another. As Mew and Budala are out of this round, Stake with a bit of a mistake. Unintended. Dopamine finishing first, 108.86. So
There
it
we
seems
go.
like the 109 margin is going to be important here.
Alright. Devil.
And the risky finish, not so risky after all, but unfortunately you can't take it if you crash, and Devil's going to be
Yeah.
not very happy with his start in the fight for top 4 because his 3 competitors taking 8, 7, and 6 takes only 2. That's not looking good.
That is really not looking good. So Devil needs to keep his head in the game here. As Dev pointed out, we got 2 fights in this match here. Fight for place 5 and the fight for place number 1 still open. Let's see how players go through with the second round on the last map here.
So again, we're kind of returning to the first map. We had perhaps a bit more consistency to expect on the second and third one. This map again is kind of like the first. It's a bit of a wild card. You can be hit by a lot of bugs. You can be hit by super inconsistent behavior. You just have to navigate this maze of traps and just hope that you're going to survive.
Yeah.
If 2 watchers now that Budala has basically secured 8th place, they're going to be sort of seeing if they can snatch that position from him, and we're probably going to have some new Div 1 contenders next week.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Racerlight looking to rebound from a bad performance last week. He's probably going to secure his Div 1 position as expected. Right now, Dopamine Devil and Spider perhaps a bit further ahead. This time it's Racerlight in the fight for top 4 that makes the mistake. And Devil as well. What is this? Spider might overhaul him on the final corner. A lot of them dropping a lot of speed. But it is Spider that has just that little bit more, and he will secure that second place ahead of Devil.
There we
Again,
go.
disadvantageous for him. Racerlight only +1. That's going to sting.
Oof.
And Dopamine, 2 consecutive wins means his lead is only extended, and that first place is looking as good as his.
All right. And for the place for 5th, we see Stiko in 3rd position right now. So let's see if he can stay there and climb up the ladder a bit.
Yeah, Stake securing 5th place would be pretty good for him. And as far as things are looking, Mew and Lucky, they're not exactly overhauling him by any significant margin. Stake enjoys a pretty healthy advantage over both of them in the 5th place matchup.
Who went out? Oh no, it's Steak. No.
Master Curse, number 3 of the evening.
There we go. Huge scratch by him. Totally gone right now.
And it's looking like a map that's going to end very quickly in favor of Blue Team. And this plays in Dopamine's favor because he seems to be the odds-on favorite to take that first place for himself. However, what happens with 2nd, 3rd, and 4th is anyone's guess, because now Devil made a mistake in the first round, then Racerlight made a mistake.
Yeah.
It seems basically that almost Spider is pretty consistent, but he is facing a bit of a disadvantageous situation because of the comeback he had to complete on the previous map. So he needs to keep scoring these points. He needs to not drop any rounds if he wants to put himself in good position for another 2nd place finish. Looks like 108 is the margin of a strong time here. So all of the times kind of feel on these, all on these nice 2nd overlaps.
All right. Good to keep an eye on here. Spider indeed with a strong +7 again. Needs to score the points here for himself, as he wants to be competitive in that 3rd, 2nd, and 4th place battle.
So interestingly, the top 4 in the actual solo rankings are also top 4 on this map, but right now it's not looking great for Racerlight, who is 9 points behind Dopamine and also several points behind his competitors.
Yeah.
Needs to step it up a little bit, otherwise he might be dropping out. And obviously, Blue Team will be benefiting from the +2, which is coincidentally 3 of our top 4. It's only Spider that's going to miss out on this bonus despite a very strong individual performance. So Acerlight, Devil, and Dopamine really shaking their hands here. This is their opportunity to bank a lot of points to stay in Div 1, and now Spider with a mistake.
Oof.
That's going to cost him severely in his fight for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, on top of having that issue of not receiving the extra points, winning the team battle.
He touched as well, so maybe...
I'm not sure Spider is close enough to actually make up any positions unless they make a 2nd mistake. It was a very, very severe mistake. See what happens now.
All right.
And that fight for... you again fighting for the bottom positions, which means he's going to tank his lucky stars. He's going to receive that +2 bonus. Devil now taking this round and bringing himself into 2nd position. So looking good to take 2nd place if Spider makes another mistake.
All right.
Still, everything to play for, but it might not be that way for long because Blue Team are up 4-0. If they keep playing like this, it's going to be 7-0 done in 3 rounds. So Spider and Racerlight, time to wake up and drive the best you've ever driven.
All right, let's see.
Spider, a small round bug is going to put him several tenths of a second behind, so he's fighting at a disadvantage already in this round. Not looking great for him. Racerlight needs to maintain that position.
All right, falling down just a little bit, but he is still close to the rest of the
Everybody
field.
survives lap 1, but Spider, again, that mistake disadvantages him very severely. Needs to start making up points immediately.
Alright, he's pushing through the field here, overtaking Stiko right now. Lucky shot as well.
Oh, that's a beautiful line from Spider. Look at his 4 positions in 2 turns. Incredible comeback. Racerlight, however, pips him to it. Has a bit of a better line from that jump landing. Oh no, he has a landing bug. Lucky shot will oblige with the point, but oh no!
Budala as well gone, I think. Was Budala.
Yes, but he has to... yeah. Not going to be good for Spider. That unfortunate mistake is going
That
to
was
send
really
him down.
unfortunate. After his great
Razorlight
turn.
gives himself an important boost in his fight with Spider, but Devil now pips both of them, and it's looking like Devil is the one who will be taking that second place. Devil now has to make something big happen if he wants to catch up to Dopa. I think he would have to do 2 straight wins and Dopa have something like 2 straight last places.
All right, let's see.
We'll see. There is still an outside chance for Devil to take first place in solo ranking, but something major would have to happen. Lucky Shot is out. Spider, small mistake again. Devil and Dopamine, the players you need to be looking out for, because the fight for first place is still looking still open. But again, Dopamine would have to make a mistake, and Devil has to keep winning. He's facing a disadvantage to Dopa. And he needs some mistakes to help him overcome it, because the way this is looking, that's not going to be nearly enough.
Yeah, not in his own
And
hands anymore.
It's out of his hands. Had an unfortunate performance on map number 1, actually, Devil had. If he didn't have that, he might have even been in the solo ranking lead, thanks to Dopamine's questionable map 2.
Very true. So Dopa.
Yeah, but now he drops behind, and Dopa's looking to secure the first place. So Devil's chances of taking first place in solo ranking, they're not looking good. Easy blue round, looking like this is about to be the final round of the evening.
Yeah.
Devil looking good for second place, and Dopa looking good for first place, the way things stand. Spider and Razorlight are going to have a very tight battle for third place.
And
we're going to see how the battle for fifth.
Yeah.
And we're going to see how that resolves itself later. It's only Budala safely in 8th place. Another bad map from him. I don't feel like he's up to the level in terms of consistency, even if he sometimes has the pace. Just not quite there, but still, the very fact he is in Division 1 for 2 consecutive weeks, I think, very, very strong from him indeed.
Yeah. All right.
Deserves a full round of applause, and now we'll see what happens. So Razorlight and Spider, eyes on them. Devil and Dopamine, eyes on them. If maybe some miracle at the last minute can happen, but for the rankings to really be upset, it would either have to be a huge disbalance or a red round, and I don't think that's going to happen at all. Blue team, as dominant as they've ever looked, nothing to be said here.
Whew. That is strong there. Devil, Dopa, and Razor, 1, 2, 3.
Devil and Dopa just absolutely taking this last map and dominating on it. Danish Dynamite duo clearing the way ahead of everyone. Razorlight looking pretty good for third place, as he seems to have the advantage over Spider. Not sure how it's going to come out with the total points, but we're going to check that right now, because this match, this evening, Division 1 Week 2, looking over with another blue round. Dopamine secures first place with another first place finish. Devil safely in second, Budala safely in last, and now we're going to see how the points break up. Don't miss it. We're going to be calculating that right away for you.
All right, so there we go, guys. That was the 4 maps for you, BFNL Division 1 done, and we will be coming through with the point calculations, of course, to give you the latest updates on that. All right.
We're going to very quickly see how well everyone performed. Obviously, players will benefit on the blue team from another +2 additional points for the total ranking, but still, solo ranking is the most important thing, and we're going to see how that works out for them. Putting the points together now, we're just going to very quickly calculate them to make sure there are no mistakes.
No mistakes.
Please
so
give me a moment to verify how things have went for us tonight, and we'll be announcing the final results of the solo ranking very shortly indeed.
Very good. All right, so Deft with a little calculations here. In the meantime, little shout out to the people who have followed the stream while we were busy following the match. Casper, Aka Rice, Purple Rain, and McKiller, of course, with the sub. Thank you so much, guys. As the viewership, again, has been very nice for BFNL. So thank you all for being here. And of course, it's not over yet. We still will get an update from Deft on the points. And of course, the BFNL
is... Give me a moment to make sure that I don't announce something incorrect.
Yeah, you go ahead. All the time here.
3 more more players, and we're going to see what happens.
All right. So maybe, as you know, guys, this wasn't the end of BFNL or whatever. We are only in week 2 of this beautiful and very much enjoyable event. And upcoming Sunday, we will be streaming Division 2 as well. And it depends on the playtime of Division 3.
And
maybe we will stream there.
That is it. So I am
Alright.
about ready to tell you how the solo ranking shaped up for tonight. Just give me a moment to order the players so we can announce them in order. And let's see how the solo ranking worked out. So, winner of Division 1 Week 2, Dopamine with 211 points. This time winning by 11 points instead of 101. But still, a victory for Dopamine nonetheless. Points for the team ranking as well. So Dopamine continues with maximum points available in BFNL, just dominant in the first 2 weeks. Second place, Devil, 200 points. Very well done from him. He was in competition to take first place overall with a stronger map 2 and map 3 than Dopamine and barely being weaker on map 4. Unfortunately, map number 1 killed Devil's chances of winning. He's going to have to settle for second. Third place goes to Racerlight, much better than previous week. Unfortunately, final map not really working out as well as he might have hoped. He takes back home 190 points for a very solid third place finish. Spider takes fourth place at 178 points. Pretty clear of the bottom 4, but unfortunately, last map not working well in his favor. And on the third map, he also lost points to the rest of the top 4. Fifth place, Steak can't repeat his joint second place performance from week 1. Week first map and week final map, unfortunately, completely killed it, but he beat Mew and Lucky Shot to fifth place, taking it for himself with 147 points.
Well done.
Sixth place, Lucky Shot manages to snipe Mew by 1 point. With 140, he takes that sixth place spot, if I calculated correctly. He's going to be, I think, quite happy with that, considering the final map just wasn't working out well for him at all, and he was dead last on the third map as well. Mew takes home 7th place with 139 points. I think he's got every right to be disappointed because he gave up a lot of points that he had on the flat map. Final map, almost last place. It's not a great night for him overall. He's going to be 7th with 139 points. And unfortunately, the loser of the evening, Budala, 27 points below the 7th place and almost half the points of the first place finisher, 112 points. Unfortunately, the pace and consistency were just not there to keep up with the rest of Division 1. He was dead last on, I believe, 2 maps and almost last on the other 2 as well. So, few positive points to speak. However, I do think that with the pace that he showed, he should be quite competitive in Division 2. So, final ranking, Opa, Devil, Racer, Spider, Steak, Lucky, Mew, and Budala.
There we go.